Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. In this video I'd like to show you how you can get your hands on the reagents to upgrade artifact gear and also enchantments. Along with this, you'll also be able to go ahead and sell these reagents on the auction house for a decent amount of profit if you so wish. These reagents I speak about will be all these enchanting stones. You have your rank 3s, 4s and 5s. The enchanting stones rank 6s, they generally drop from all sorts of different dungeons and trials and whatnot on fairly a regular basis, and thus their current really dirt cheap price value on the auction house. Now, in order to take advantage of this and farm out these enchanting stones in the best possible way, you need to take advantage of the event here we can see on the calendar just around the corner, ×2 refining stones event. This will start on November the 12th. Currently what we have is the November the 5th it started, the ×2 currency for Dreadring. Now the reason for me making this video right now is because of this ×2 currency for Dreadring. If we go ahead and actually look at the Dreadring campaign over here, and we look in the schedule, you can see when you go ahead and you complete these different dungeons within Dreadring, you have 3 different ones there. You have the Dreadspire, the Deathforge and the Phantasmal Fortress, and you can see on certain days you have a chance to obtain these enchanting stones. For example, here on Thursday in the Phantasmal Fortress you have a chance to gain your rank 3s, rank 4s and rank 5s. Now with the ×2 currency you'll be able to basically earn double this. Now the way to actually farm out these layers is you need to obtain the keys, and the keys you obtain from the Dreadring store. Here if you go click view wares, you can see here you can purchase the Thayan lair keys, and you can go ahead and purchase a whole bunch of them. You can see I can go and purchase 12 more. Along with that, you can also go ahead and trade in your genie gifts, which are actually fairly cheap. They're just above 11k Astral Diamonds at this point. They used to be way more, but because they're dropping from the new lockbox like pennies, thus they're cheap value, and you'll be able to trade these in. And you can see when you trade in a genie gift, you gain a bag of Thayan treasures. And this bag, when you go ahead and open it, you can see it will give you 30 Vanguard scripts instead of 15. And that will only be just for this time. We go ahead and leave this heroic encounter. You can see just up here we have ×2 currency for Dreadring. And this will last for another 5 days and 5 hours left. Basically up until November the 12th when the ×2 currency starts. So what you want to do to take advantage of this is, yes, you want to go ahead and farm out your Dreadring. You want to either trade in those genie gifts to gain those scripts, and you just want to go ahead and complete all these Dreadring quests, which will give you those Vanguard scripts. You can see they will currently now give you 6 instead of the original 3. So this is the reasoning for this only being part 1, because I can only show you and tell you guys now to go ahead and farm out the Dreadring and gain as many of those Vanguard scripts as you can while this double currency event is ongoing. And once the ×2 refining stone events begins, you'll then be able to go ahead and gain double amount of these enchanting stones from those Dreadring layers. So we hop over to Dreadring, and here we have Dreadring, and make sure you pick up all of the quests which they give you, even if you don't want to complete them right now. Along with that, if you have completed the Dreadring campaign and grinded out this gauntlet section, you'll be able to go ahead and craft up a gauntlet here. Generally the rewards from this is pretty abysmal. You'll just get like a refining stone, but you is a chance that you will gain basically marks of potency there, which is pretty decent. Along with gaining Vanguard scripts through trading in those genie gifts, you can also obtain them from trading in those Thayan ciphers. Now if you've completed the campaign, then I would do this, otherwise save those ciphers for completing your boons. Now these ciphers will take some time to basically convert, but you can see you will gain those 30 Vanguard scripts. Normally it's only 15 per one. So that's basically it. You have those 3 different ways which you can obtain those Vanguard scripts, and you want to make sure you gain as many of them as you can before the ×2 refining event happens and before this ×2 Dreadwing currency event ends. You want to then, with those Vanguard scripts, to go ahead and purchase as many of those Thayan lair keys as possible. And thus with those lair keys you'll be able to look at the schedule depending on the day. The initial event will start on the Thursday, so you'll be grinding out Phantasmal Fortress and you'll be able to obtain these enchanting stones. On the Friday you don't want to do any of the lairs, so you want to stop your farming there, and on the weekend you can go back and basically choose any lair you want, and you'll be also able to obtain all of those ranks of enchanting stones up till 5. I'll make another video when that actually comes out, grinding out those actual stones and running you through my process that I do it for best efficiency. So now I'm just going to go ahead and complete some Thayan quests, and we'll see how many of those Vanguard scripts we can obtain just for today. Looking at my quest journal right now, I have a whole ton of the quests. All of these giving me a whole bunch of that Dreadwing currency, that being the Vanguard scripts, and you'll also obtain ×2 of those Thayan ciphers along with that Thayan scrolls, which you'll use basically in the Dreadwing store to purchase the items. So here we go, we completed all of our Dreadwing quests. It took us about 20 minutes to complete all of these. So now we just go and hand them in. And here we go. And there we go, we've handed in all our Dreadwing quests. Now what did we obtain? Well, we obtained a whole bunch of these Dreadwing artifact bags. Now in these artifact bags you basically just obtain gemstones. Now ideally you could save up these bags for the ×2 refining stones event, because you'll basically obtain ×2 of those gemstones. And in that way you'll basically profit a whole lot more, but I just don't have the inventory space and I don't need these refinement points that much, so I'll just go and open them all up, and you can see all we really obtained was just a bunch of emeralds and sapphires. So we just refined those all up, and that's pretty much it. Now if we actually go to our Dreadwing campaign here, you can see we just about gained nearly 70 of those Vanguard script just from doing all the quests for one day, which is pretty decent. That's about 7 of those Thayan lair keys, and we did start out with about 7 Vanguard scripts, so you'd get about 6 of those keys per day, which is all round pretty decent. We will go ahead and trade in that final genie gift. I do have a bunch more in another character, but as you can see again, trading in the genie gifts will give you 30 of those Vanguard scripts, which is a pretty decent amount, and you could end up gaining a lot more AD just by purchasing the genie gifts, which are there just under 11k off the auction house, and getting those Vanguard scripts, and then go ahead and sell these enchanting stones which you'd obtain through those Thayan lairs. If we go ahead, and you can see on the auction house here, they are actually a pretty hefty amount. People are selling them there in stacks of 25, and if we go there and you can see a stack of like 10 or 1, they're about 20k AD just for one of these enchanting stones, which is pretty decent. And if you were lucky enough to get them to drop, which they do drop fairly frequently from the Thayan lairs, then you will be gaining a decent amount of profit through that. And along with that, you'll just be gaining those reagents which you'll need anyway to refine up your enchantments. Not only do you need these enchanting stones for refining enchantments, you also need them for refining your artifact sets, like your weapons, your neck and waist, and also even all your artifacts. So it can be a pretty good grind to run through for the progression of your character if you don't already have these maxed out. Of course, then you will have to go and try farm out wards to protect these enchanting stones so you don't end up needlessly wasting a whole bunch. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully this is somewhat helpful, especially to those newer players who do not even know about this farm. And those of you more veteran players, this can be just more of a reminder for those of you to go ahead and grind out those Vanguard scripts while we have the double currency. So hopefully I presented this well. If I did, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.